Look, I get it. There's a ton of noise in cold email, so how are you supposed to know what actually works? Here are my top 5 tools for 2025. Now, I get it. There are hundreds of different tools to choose from if you want to get started in cold email, and they all claim that they're all you need to get results. But spoiler alert, most of them are blowing smoke. Now, I've tested every tool in existence over the past 5 years, sent over 30 million cold emails, and we've generated millions in revenue. So I've got a good idea for what's hype and what's going to actually drive real results. So I'm going to show you my 5 favorite tools that I use religiously for every single campaign for both myself and my clients. All right, so we've got our initial prospect list from Apollo, but we want to fill in any missing emails. So my first stop is going to be Lead Magic. You've got those emails from Lead Magic and our initial list from Apollo. Well, now the next step is going to be trying email validation with Lead Magic. Now I do this in Clay, but you can do it right in the Lead Magic platform as well. In our testing across 15 million monthly emails, we found that sending to unvalidated emails is one of the fastest ways to tank your sending reputation. You just need a 2% bounce rate and you start triggering spam filters at all the major email providers. Now, Lead Magic's validation engine is going to catch all those supposedly good emails that you got from a database that will actually end up bouncing in a campaign. And that can be the difference between landing in the inbox or the spam folder for all of the emails in the campaign if you start bouncing too much. Now, as a bonus, Lead Magic also provides some of the most accurate email and mobile number data that we've seen. So it's really a triple threat. You've got contact data for both phone, email, and that email validation piece. And when we tested their mobile data against 3 other competitors last quarter, Lead Magic had the highest accuracy rate for the lowest cost of any provider. So mobile data gets really expensive. And when you're deploying callers, you need to find ways to cut costs. This is a great first stop. All right, next up is my 3rd favorite tool, Clay. Think of this as your AI research team that can do one-to-one account research for 10,000 prospects at once. They have this Claygent feature, which is essentially their AI agent, and you can use it to scrape targeted information from prospect websites or your prospect social media, like their LinkedIn or their X account, and then you can directly reference that in your outreach. So here's an actual example. You've got a client selling marketing software. We send Claygent out. It visits each prospect's pricing page and captures the service tiers and the cost. And then you can end up with a message that says something like, hey, I noticed you're currently offering 3 service tiers starting at $79 a month. Now, our clients with similar pricing structures have seen conversion improvements of 23% by implementing our specific solution. Another example using Clay to scan prospect websites could be using it to scan case studies and testimonials. Then you could reference those stories in that outreach. So instead of sending a big templated email, you can reference whatever case study or customer name makes the most sense for that specific prospect, right? Hey, saw you had success working with company X in the healthcare sector. We've just helped competitors selling into healthcare reduce their customer acquisition costs by 31%. Now, what makes Clay really powerful is that it helps you connect these insights into your offer and into your messaging. So when you feed Clay's AI information about your product and your target audience, and most importantly, the person you're about to reach out to, it can transform these relevant data points that are scattered all over the web into natural conversation starters. All right, now for number 4, I have to cheat a little bit. This is for email sequencing, and I have 2 dark horse but excellent options depending on your budget and requirements. Now, Email Bison is for teams that are really, really serious about deliverability and they need enterprise-grade capabilities. It's gonna run on your own dedicated infrastructure, so you're completely separate from other senders and you're not sharing IP addresses the way you might on other systems. We've seen a few clients double their deliverability rates within weeks just by moving from one sequencer over to the Email Bison dedicated environment. The IPs tagged in your email headers are not shared by anyone else. Now, if you want a more accessible option, because Email Bison is about $500 a month just to get in the door, a more accessible option that we've seen deliver excellent results is what's now Plus Vibe AI. It used to be called People.ai, PIPL. It's another great recommendation. It has a robust warm-up network. Both of these tools do actually. And it has a relatively intuitive interface as well, but at a much lower price point. Think around $100 a month to get started. Now, both options support plain text emails, which we strongly recommend for cold outreach. You don't want any images. You don't want any HTML formatting or attachments or links or anything in your emails that's going to detract from your deliverability. Just conversational text that mimics how actual professionals interact with each other. That's what you want. That's what's going to sail through to the inbox. This approach consistently outperforms any emails for cold outreach that look fancy or have certain templates or any other fancy stuff that's going to detract from the main point of this whole exercise. So either option, maybe your Toyota with Plus5 and your Cadillac with Email Bison, both great options for email sequencing. Now, as you look at sending more cold email volume, the admin work of setting up domains and inboxes, it gets tedious pretty fast. So that leads us into number 5, which is scaled mail. You'll want scaled mail's inboxes as a service approach when you start having to do more and more of this work. Now, I'm biased because it's my company, but in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it's the most comprehensive solution to provide optimized sending infrastructure specifically designed for cold email. Now, different clients want different sending profiles. One client might want a 50-50 split in sending power between Microsoft and Google, and another might just want Google domains or just SMTP. Scaled Mail lets you customize this mix exactly to your needs and exactly to the specs that you want. You can bring your own domains or you can purchase them through our web app. The flexibility is unmatched. So whether you need just Google Workspace accounts, Microsoft 365, private SMTP, or some custom mix of the three, we have it all. The real value is the support team back in the inboxes. When deliverability issues arise, and I promise you they will, you're not alone. The team provides guidance across multiple channels: Slack, email, web chat. We're extremely easy to reach, and they're going to quickly diagnose and resolve any problems you run into. All right, so you've got my favorite tools, but now it's about seeing how we can make them all work together. Because it's not just about stacking tools, it's about the workflow between them. So I want to walk you through a real example. We have a SaaS client selling project management software to construction companies. They want to go after construction companies with 50 to 500 employees. So first, we're going to go into Apollo and identify 2,700 construction companies that match those parameters. So we're going to filter by construction in the industry filter. We're going to go to the employees count and make sure we're between 50 and 500. And we're specifically going to target operations directors and project managers. Now, Apollo is going to give us all of that data really easily, and we'll be able to spit out those right decision makers. Next, I want to run the list through Lead Magic, and they're going to flag about 32% of those emails as problematic. So we're going to remove those from our list before we send. And we've protected the client's sending reputation from the start by doing that. All right, so all those validated contacts now go into Clay. And we're gonna use Clayagent to visit each company's reviews. So it's gonna identify which prospects had customers that mention specific pain points, like project delays or budget overruns on the service page. It also might know which construction specialties each company focuses on. Are they doing residential? Are they doing commercial, industrial, etc.? The enriched data then goes into Email Bison, right? So we've got columns for all of the interesting data points that we pulled out of Clay. And now we can create personalized sequences that reference their specific construction focus and address the pain points that we might have found with Clay. And we're going to send those messages out of Email Bison, simple plain text with a clear call to action. That campaign is launched from our scaled mail inboxes, where we use a 50-50 split of Microsoft to Google accounts, since we want to prioritize diversification in our infrastructure, if at all possible. That whole process is exactly how a campaign comes together at Beanstalk and how it should be done on your end as well. That's how you end up with a great reply rate and a full pipeline with cold email.